Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Red Rock Wranglers Football. It is the off season here in season number 1. We have beaten Hawaii to make our final record 4-8, and we were able to get our number 1 recruit in Michael Coley after doing so. So that was a very exciting and important game for us, as we obviously beat Hawaii and were able to obtain Michael Coley. So very exciting for that. And we are going to jump forward here now to Conference Championship Week, and we actually get one more recruit. Kareem Williams, left end, 66 overall, committed to our team as well. So that is nice to see. But obviously we've got our big recruiting coming up here in the offseason. These are the current players who have decided to come to the Wranglers, including our number 1, Michael Coley, TJ Paul, David Burns, Ben Pollard, Adam Wise, and Paul Ostrander. Those are the guys at this point that have committed to the Wranglers. We're very excited for these guys, but obviously we need more players and we need to continue to get better. So we're going to hope for the best here as we move into the offseason, hoping that we can get some more players. Basically, we need bodies. Basically, we want to look for that kind of high 60, 70 overall range. Obviously, if we get a little bit higher, we'd like to see that as well. But as we look here, we're going to see that Air Force actually and San Diego State are going to play in the Mountain West Conference Championship. Unfortunately, as I was going through here, I did not pay attention to see actually who won that game. So that is a little bit disappointing, something I forgot to do, so I am sorry for that, and I apologize, but it is what it is. We have to move on now. But again, those are the guys that we need to get up for next season. We played both teams fairly tough, but unfortunately lost to them. As we take a look here at our team schedule, we went into Arizona and lost in overtime, so a very tough game. You know, we did play this kind of conservative, slow play all season long with the thought process that we wanted to try and limit other teams' offenses from getting on the field, and it worked for the most part, but it did not work against Arizona State. It was as we lost 52-14, and then another close game that we actually won against New Mexico. Utah State, we lost again big. And then we played the number 3 Houston, really tough, but unfortunately some fourth quarter mistakes really cost us, any chance to win that one. But then we came out and faced UNLV and won another game. And then we came into San Jose State and won 2 games in a row, beating them 21-7. And we came into the San Diego State game with a chance actually to take the lead in the Mountain West Conference, but unfortunately lost another close one, 14-6. And then we went on to lose 3 more in a row, all close games, except for, of course, that Nevada game where we lost 48-14. And then we came in finally to Hawaii, our last game of the season, and pulled out the win. And that is how we got to our 4-8 record. So not bad, I don't think, for a first season here in school history. We played most teams tough. We did have those 3 blowout losses, but all the other games were fairly close games. I feel like that conservative play was helping us, and so that's kind of why we continue to do it throughout the whole season, although against Hawaii we didn't, and that was actually a fairly good game for us, and we won 24-10. As we take a quick look at the stats on the season, Brent Sparks was our number 1 quarterback, played the most for sure, had 2,007 yards, 14 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions with 63% completion percentage. But what I'm most concerned about is the 58 sacks that we gave up. That is something we definitely need to fix here in the offseason, and so we're going to try to do that. As we move here on to rushing, Obadiah Covington was our leading rusher with 105 attempts for 517 yards and 6 touchdowns. Brent Sparks, 432 yards and 4 touchdowns. Morris Stewart, our senior, 243 yards, and Timothy Tremblay got 187 yards and a touchdown. Those are our top rushers here on the season. And as we jump forward here, let's take a quick look at our receivers. CJ Drew was our top receiver, 51 receptions, 780 yards, and 6 touchdowns. Behind him, Covington with just 173 yards, McNair with 204. He did have 3 touchdowns. And Skip Dahl, 207 yards with a couple of touchdowns. Cedric Terry, technically our number 1 receiver, only had 183 yards and no touchdowns on the season. We really need to find ways to get him more involved next season as a junior, so it will be exciting to keep him. But I need to figure out ways to get him the ball. I mean, that's ultimately the bottom line. We will have to see here moving forward what we decide to do with him. As we take a quick look here at the defense, Hayden Ferguson was our top tackler here with 80 tackles, 17 tackles for loss. After that, it's Harrison and Marcus, our safeties, at 77 and 76 tackles apiece. And as you can see here, we've got some good tackle for loss numbers here. 17 for Hayden Ferguson, 14 for Carlson, 11 for Clements, and 13 for Lauren Lawrence. We're going to take a look now just at the sacks. Lauren Lawrence led the team with 9. Clements had 6. He had a nice 3-sack game there, that one game earlier in the season, which was actually a school record, so that was nice to see. Holy Cross ended up with a couple of sacks as well, one in that last game there, along with the interception. It was nice to see him get involved. I should have probably been playing him a little bit more, maybe. It was nice to see that he kind of stepped up, played in that last game, showed us what he's made of, so then that way maybe we'll want to use him a little bit more next season. Interception-wise here, Marcus with a couple, Cruz with a couple, and Harrison with a couple, and then Chavis and Holy Cross with 1 apiece. I feel like we should have had a ton more. There were so many dropped interceptions this year. Hopefully moving forward, our cornerbacks will get better and will be able to hold on to those interceptions. So many just bounced right off their hands. Taking a look here at the Heisman, Curtis Samuel wins it for Ohio State. Baker Mayfield there in second place. Cook in third. Harris from Bama in fourth. And Terrell, quarterback from Western Michigan, there in fifth place. Taking a quick look at the awards here. We're kind of looking at first team Mountain West Conference, and we actually have one. Hayden Ferguson makes the first team here for the Wranglers, so that's nice to see. And also Robin Harrison able to get on the first team here in the Mountain West Conference. And then as we move to the second team, you see CJ Drew had a really good season. We'll take a look and see if there are any more. Anthony Marcus looks like he got there, and Cedric Terry. So nice to see a few of our players get some recognition for their nice seasons, first and second team in the Mountain West Conference. So that is very exciting to see. As we're going to jump ahead here, we're going to take a quick look at just the award winners. I don't think and I know that we don't have anybody that is going to win any awards. Maxwell goes to Mayfield, Walter Camp to Mayfield, Bednark to Tease Tabor. We're just going to kind of quickly rush through these here. Again, I don't really know that we're not going to have anybody in the running. Another one goes to Baker Mayfield there. Interesting that he didn't win the Heisman, yet he's coming out with a bunch more awards here as we kind of look at all of these. Curtis Samuel there with the Bolitnikoff. Mackey Dowdy wins that. Outland goes to, I can't even say his name. Effeline, I guess is his name. Lombardi goes to Lawson. The best linebacker goes to Smith there. Taking a quick look if maybe one of our guys is there. I was looking for Hayden Ferguson, but of course he didn't get there. Wunderlich goes to the Groza. Cameron Johnson gets the Guy Award. Best return man, again looking for Cedric Terry here. He does not make the top 12. Not that I thought that he would, but I thought we would take a look anyway. And it looks like here, ultimately, it was Ohio State versus UCLA in the championship, and Ohio State comes out with the victory and the national championship as they actually handled UCLA fairly easily, like a 45-10 game. So that was not very exciting national championship game here. As we look at our players that are leaving, we've got a ton, obviously, that are leaving graduation, but it looks like Blake Ellison One of our wide receivers had a couple nice games as the season was ending, is deciding to transfer. He wants more playing time. Looks like he wants to go to Ball State. I really would like to try and keep him, so I'm not quite sure what we need to do here to keep him, but I think he would be helpful maybe in the slot. He was a good backup, and I don't really want to lose that. So let's see if we can get him to stay. I think ultimately he's going to play in all the games, so I'm not really quite sure what to pick here. I think we'll just start. We'll just say that he's going to play in 3 or more games, I guess. But again, that persuasion chance is very low. I can't imagine that this is going to allow him to stay, but maybe we'll just try it and see what happens here. And unfortunately, that does not look like it will do it. And so we will say that he's going to try to catch at least 25 passes, I guess. And that doesn't do it either. So it looks like Blake Ellison is going to be leaving the Wranglers to go to Ball State. We tried to get him to stay, but he just doesn't want to. So we are going to move on from him. Again, we're losing CJ Drew, which is a tough loss for us. A starter, and Van Cruz, Freddie Chavis, our top 2 corners. So we're missing some. We're going to lose some big guys. Our fullback, even though he's only a 62 overall, played well for us. Morris Stewart got some playing time. So we're losing some good players for sure. But we got to move on. That's the only choice we have. So we're going to hope here moving forward that we can replace some of these guys here in the offseason. Hope that we can get some people here in the recruiting. We need to get some more for sure. As you saw earlier, we only have about 6. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at any transfers. And we actually have a couple of outside linebackers. That's nice to see. I don't really see that very often, but Parnell and Baker, one from New Mexico State, left outside linebacker, 64 overall. And then a right outside linebacker from Utah State is going to come to the Wranglers. We'll lose a season of eligibility, but that just is what it is here. As we get into the recruiting, we really want Colt Merville. I really want Colt Merville. He's a 77 overall guard. He will be a huge get for us. We have a huge lead against TCU, but I don't want to lose him. So we're going to dump a bunch of points into him, trying to do the math here and think about what exactly we need to do to get him. Because if, for instance, TCU puts, I can't imagine that they would, but let's just say they decide to put all 10,000 points into him, then, I don't want to accidentally lose him. So we're going to go all the way up, I think, to about, 6,500 makes sense. That gives us the best chance, I feel like, to keep him without any detriment or any loss. Even if TCU puts all of their points into him again, which I don't really think would happen, but I don't want a chance losing him. So we're going to just go ahead and put in 6,500 for him, and then we're going to move on here to Jeff Jenkins. He would be a nice get for us too, especially because we really need corners. We're losing our top 3. So again, we need some corners. Even our next 2 there, Jeff Jenkins, Justin McDuffie, both are going to end up being corners. We also have Marcus Smith there at 70 overall. So we're going to have to make some more decisions here with the points, with not really many left. So we're just going to do our best here to figure out what makes the most sense. And this is what I came up with here. 1,500 for Jenkins. Justin McDuffie gets 750. 350 for Nate Griffin, and Marcus Smith gets 750. Not a whole lot of points to those guys, so I'm a little bit nervous that we're not actually going to get them. We put a ton there into the Merville, the 77 overall guard. I really want him bad. Our offensive line needs help, and so he was the number 1 guy that I really want out of what is left on my board. As we jump ahead here, we're going to take a look and see who we get. Just hoping for the best here, and we got the best here, as we got Colt Merville, Jeff Jenkins, Marcus Smith, Frank Cooper, Aaron Bird, Justin McDuffie, and Nathan Griffin. Unbelievable haul here as we kind of just finalized all of the points, and it worked out in our favor. I am very excited and very happy with this, as Colt Merver was our top guy there. We wanted him bad. Jeff Jenkins was right behind him. I wanted him bad as well, but I didn't have a ton of points left because I put so much into Colt Merville. And we still were able to get Marcus Smith and Justin McDuffie. So we're kind of set back again on corners and probably even better than where we stood last year. And then we got Nathan Griffin. Looks like he's going to come out as potentially a halfback. We'll have to see what decisions I make here moving forward for player changes. And we also got, it looks like, another middle linebacker there in Jeff McDougal. So a very good haul here. Oh, and another corner, Mike Smith. And then a wide receiver, Jamal Brown. So this is our total recruiting class here. Number one guy there, obviously Michael Coley, 4-star athlete. And then we got Colt Merville, guard. Those were the top two guys that we wanted, and we got them. So very, very excited about those guys. And then we kind of replaced all three of our corners that we needed. We also got Ben Pollard earlier, another guard. So we're going to be looking pretty good. We've definitely made our offensive line better, which we need, obviously, giving up 58 sacks. Hopefully that translates on the field. We'll have to wait and see. Also, obviously, got a bunch of middle linebackers there. We've got some athletes. We got to make some decisions where we're going to put those guys. We got another really good safety here in Ostrander. If I remember correctly, I think TJ Paul kind of translates as a potential another safety. So that's two more safeties. The two best players on our team right now are safeties, and Robin Harrison and Anthony Marcus. So let's go ahead and take a look here where we want to put these guys. Michael Coley makes the most sense at wide receiver, so we put him there with Nathan Griffin. I was right about TJ Paul, as that made the most sense to put him at free safety. And now we're going to just jump right into the next section here and figuring out what kind of increases in training we got. So some training results here. Not great, not terrible, as we saw some increases there for Brent Sparks. Covington goes up by 5, so that's nice to see. Cedric Terry only went up by 3, but again, he didn't really probably play very well in all reality. I mean, as our number one wide receiver, really, he didn't have a very good season. CJ Drew kind of overtook things, and so that's just kind of how it is. Hart there went up by 4, Fulton by 5, kind of just, +4, +5. Seems like it's the most that we're seeing here. I am very interested to see Hayden Ferguson. He had such a great season as a junior. I'd be excited to see him have a big jump here as he went to 66 overall. I'll be really curious to see how he got better here. I think our offensive line here got better. We got the 2 recruits, obviously, and then even from that, we've got some guys that are going to get up into the 70s. So that's nice to see. Quick look here at the left end, just a +3 for the one we have. Right end +4 for Lauren Lawrence. He had a nice season with the 9 sacks. Thompson here gets a +5. All of our defensive linemen got +5s. There's a +6 there. Davin Carlson bumps all the way up to a 78, so that's nice to see. He's played well for us already this last season, obviously. Hayden Ferguson, just a +4. That's a little bit disappointing. He had 80 tackles, had a really nice season, but he only gets +4, so that's a little disappointing, I think. But I think no matter what, he'll continue to play well for us. So that is a nice bump up, I guess, although I feel like it should have been more, maybe 5, maybe 6, to at least get him above 70, but it is what it is, so we'll move on from there. Victor Clements, just a +4. He had not a bad season. Again, he holds the sack record now with 3 sacks in a game. There's just our only lone 2 corners that we have, minus obviously the recruits that we have coming in. Anthony Marcus and Robin Harrison, just +4 apiece, but that takes them over 80 overall. So that's good to see. I just want to take a quick look at where their kind of man coverage and zone coverage stand here. Pretty good, pretty darn good zone coverage. Man's kind of just middle of the road, 74, 75. Trying to make a decision as we set our depth chart here. What's going to make the most sense, for our defensive backs in general. Who's going to actually start at corner? Who's going to start at safety? Nice +4 there by Holy Cross. It takes him above 70 as well. So we're kind of moving up the board here. A lot of the players that we had were kind of in the 60 overall range, high 60 overall range. But now we're getting everybody into the 70s, so that's nice to see. 81 overall punter now. He is really just our all-around kicker. He punts and does our extra points and kickoffs. He just mostly because of that 84 overall kick power. As we look at the schedule here for season 2, we're going to start again with back-to-back in-state rivals, Arizona and Arizona State, and then we're going to start Mountain West Conference play. And then we got just another game against UTEP, kind of sandwiched in there as part of, kind of in there in our Mountain West Conference. And that's going to take us pretty much for the rest of the season. Mountain West Conference, we got Wyoming, Colorado State, Utah State, New Mexico, San Jose State, and the last one there was San Diego State. Taking a quick look here at our recruiting and what we're going to need. Obviously, per numbers, we need a wide receiver and a center. And for some reason, it's saying I need a strong safety. I feel like I'm good at safety, but I guess we are going to lose Anthony Marcus and Robin Harrison after this next season. We're going to take a quick look here then at red shirts and see who we might want to redshirt. And that'll obviously give us also a chance here to, and it looks like we have a walk-on fullback, as I was unable to get anybody in recruiting. And so J.R. Kelly walks onto the squad, 40 overall fullback. I don't really know how much he'll actually see the field, but he might. So it's hard to say for sure. Taking a quick look here at the wide receivers, I don't know that anybody, maybe we should redshirt Jamal Brown. He was kind of last second recruit here right at the end. They just kind of jumped on to join the squad. I don't even know that I offered him a scholarship. We're not going to do anybody with tight ends there, as we only have 3 anyway. I don't think it makes any sense to redshirt anybody here at left tackle, so we'll jump ahead to left guard. Kind of the same thing here. Center, we're not going to worry about redshirting anybody there. Right guard, I don't know that it makes sense to redshirt anybody here either. Could be a questionable. I guess we could do Kennard Owen, just to give us some backup, but I'm going to hold off from doing that. Right tackle, don't really want to mess with that. Left end here, we got a couple of freshmen, really. Maybe we should think about recruiting one of them, but I don't think I'm going to. Lauren Lawrence here, we're not obviously going to redshirt him, as he is already a redshirt junior anyway. We got some defensive tackles here. Maybe it'd be a good idea to at least redshirt one of these guys. Maybe Cobbs here, just a junior, and I'll go ahead and redshirt him. That'll give us another year with him. We got a ton of left outside linebackers now, so we're going to go ahead and redshirt Nathan Falk there. Taking a look at middle linebacker, we could redshirt any of these guys here. And we got, basically the 2 freshmen with Adam Wise and McDougal. Maybe we should go ahead and redshirt one of these guys. I think that would be a good idea. That would be in our best interest. We also got David Burns here. I think I'm going to actually redshirt him at a 66 overall. And then we'll keep the freshman in there to potentially play. Everybody is a redshirt something there right outside linebacker, so no real changes there. Taking a look here at corner, we've got Jeff Jenkins now, who's going to be our number 1 corner. It might make sense to redshirt Smith down here at the bottom. This freshman, 62 overall. I think that's what I'm going to go ahead and do, so we'll go ahead and redshirt him. Taking a look here now at free safety, it might be a good idea to redshirt either TJ Paul. He was kind of the one guy here. Considering we still have Harrison and Marcus here, it might be a good idea to either redshirt TJ Paul here, or you know what? I think I'm going to do that, because then if we look at strong safety, we've got Paul Ostrander, who would be maybe the other option to redshirt, but we only got 2 strong safeties, although, I'm kind of, we're just kind of playing both of our free safeties, Robin Harrison and Anthony Marcus, at our safety positions. Still kind of thinking about it here, but I think that's going to be it. The other person that we are going to redshirt is the quarterback that we kind of got at the last second, and that is Aaron Bird, as he translates more as a pocket passer, and that's not currently the situation that we are in. Maybe at some point we'll run that kind of an offense. I'm not really 100% sure. But I did want to take a quick look here at the preseason All-Americans for the Mountain West Conference, and it looks like Hayden Ferguson gets in there. So that is nice to see, as well as Robin Harrison and Cedric Terry, all first-team preseason All-Americans. So that is very nice to see. And then in the second team here, we'll take one quick look here, and then Lauren Lawrence gets in there on the second team. Victor Clements and Anthony Marcus. So we're starting to get some recognition here. So that is very nice to see. But that is going to do it here for the off season. We still have obviously to set up our recruiting board as we get into this first game against the University of Arizona. Very excited to get this new season started. We've got some great players to debut, and I am pumped about this season. We are going to open up against the University of Arizona once again, as we did in season 1. Played a very tough game in Tucson, Arizona, and lost in overtime. So hopefully we can get a little revenge this time around. Thank you guys for watching. If you like, please hit that like button. Please subscribe if you have not done so, as well as hit that bell so you do not miss any Red Rock Wranglers action. Thank you again for your support, and we will see you in Game 1 of Season 2. Thank you.